Hello, true believers. Jim Henry here, Democratic candidate for Congress in the 28th Congressional District of Florida, from Miami all the way down to beautiful Key West. Well, it's been a very busy week for the president, not a very good week, which of course, being a Democrat, that means it's been a good week for me and people like me because, gee, when things don't go well for the president, it usually means that things are going very well for the country. And the latest news that I just heard today that is freaking unbelievable to me, and I'm trying to figure out what this is going to mean, is that apparently there was a lawsuit that had to have been filed in the aftermath of the legislature in Texas trying to redraw their lines in 2025, when the tradition is that you generally redraw your lines after the census, which happens once a decade. Well, it turns out that a federal judge that was actually, I believe, appointed by Donald Trump in his first term, decided that, hey, you know what, there was nothing wrong with these maps in 2022, 2024. So why should we be changing them in 2025? And he declared them an unconstitutional racial gerrymander, which means that the whole point was to diminish the power of an ethnic minority, and therefore that the Supreme Court has already determined racial gerrymanders are against the law. Now, of course, we know that Texas was the impetus that got California to redraw its lines and go through an entire ballot initiative in which I think, what was it, something like 2/3 of the people who voted came out in favor of this. So I'm really not sure what's going to happen now, because obviously the state of Texas and the Republicans are going to appeal this decision. But that will only kick it down the road. So you're not going to see California decide to put the brakes on its own process, which was in response to Texas. So there is the possibility that the new maps that Californians just approved in ballot Prop 50 could go into effect. But later in the cycle, it's possible that Texas could finally decide to stick with their original maps, which would mean that things would be even worse for the president as he tried to fix the 2026 midterm. So that's what we've got.